you get a CD or record with sonic word invocations, a book of the history, and an actual kit. And it works out about $60, but then you are getting quite a package.
Is it the plans like you have?
No, it's actually one you just, it's already
assemble?
on cardboard, laminated cardboard. All you have to do is cut the holes out. And it's even got double-sided tape, so you just stick it.
Light bulb inside or different light source?
No, you get your own light bulb. But it's what Brian Geisen always said he wanted to happen, and I promised him before he died that I'd get it together one day if I could.
I tried to make one and just fucked it up, and I thought, well, they'll put them out eventually.
Yeah, well, this is the first. We've done 500 to begin with, and when they're gone, which I believe they've gone out to be distributed, that first lot. So some may turn up here soon. I know somebody in San Francisco bought one in a shop there, so they are getting to America slowly. But if they go well, then we'll do more, and it'll get cheaper each time as well.
Right.
And the aim is to get it down to about $35 for a book, a CD, and a kit, which is pretty good. So that's done. The films are out now through Mystic Fire in America, so we also got that done. And Andrew Mackenzie is doing a whole book on cum transmissions and also the constant themes behind all the work that I do. And that will be about 230 pages with 23 chapters is the idea.
10 pages a chapter?
Yeah.
Is Andrew an old friend?
Yeah, I've known him a long time. Very intelligent man.
Tell me about the two of you. When did you first meet?
Oh, years ago.
And you got into trouble immediately?
No, I was really sarcastic to it. And he was really impressed with just how viciously sarcastic and unimpressed I was. And decided that I must be okay because, you know, I had no respect for anybody. And he liked that because he's from up north too. It's very northern England, that is, to be brutal,
yes.
You know.
Yes.
I think it stems from the days of the Depression and hardship. The humour grew out of ridiculing the worst kind of hardship that was put on everyone. But he's very bright, speaks several languages, and has an instant understanding of what I'm trying to do. And he's also transcribed for me all the interviews I did with Brian Geisen, and those are going to be published as well as a book. I just have to write the introduction when I get home.
And that will be available from?
I'm not sure yet. Probably from Spiral, which will be published through Boodisk in Holland.
Anyone who would want to contact Halfway Trio or Psychic TV or...
Same address, and I can mail it on to him, yeah, because he sees us all the time. We speak to each other at least on the phone every week. He lives in Amsterdam now, but I can't remember the address off the top of my head.
The interesting thing to me about Coon transmissions was I have this theory that there are certain people that are trailblazers that are usually about 10 years ahead of their time. In the mid-'80s, we saw all this plethora.
Hang on a sec. Really? 5 minutes?
Performance art just went crazy. You were there before.
And of course, industrial music we began. And we did the first Acid House single with the words Acid House on it. And we've still done the only fully holophonic album in the world. And then we began doing rave music, which is rock meets house beats, and now that's finally taking off in England as well.
Talk a little bit about the holophonic.
And we even said in research, we predicted that with Psychic TV we'd create an interest in the idea of psychic, magical and occult matters, and that words like magic that were completely unhip would become hip again, which has also happened. You see it in fashion imagery and everything.
Have you been distressed at all at all the attention Aleister Crowley's received, especially as Stan?
Well, they're not the same thing. Aleister Crowley was very English, an English eccentric with a very sharp mind and a problem about misogyny, I guess. But no, I think he deserves serious investigation. That's why I wrote the introduction for Portable Darkness, Crown.
I've got that book.
It does make it a lot clearer what goes on in his work. I think it's a good book for explaining why it's interesting and that he was very intelligent. And it is a shame that we still suffer from the medieval problem of witch hunting, anything that's strange. Not us, but society does.
Well,
I think it's the sexuality that makes it happen.
Everyone has that implanted in them, and it becomes a group thing.
Yeah, what do you see as the prime viruses in the human condition right now, metaphorically and specifically?
Metaphorically. Consuming, the virus of consuming, and that has a sort of a host which is abuse. So we live in a society that is primarily fueled by consuming and abusing, I would say. And I would also say that the antidote to that, the retrovirus destroyer of that, is ironically pleasure. Something that I used to think had less value.
Pleasure creates new circuits, new
It creates
chemicals.
feelings of bonding, of unity, it spirals energy with an upward motion, whereas consuming eats and destroys.
Once destructive.
And those are parallel to the planet itself, you know, the unity, the feeling of not being separated from the planet in any way or any other being or sentience is the opposite to the consuming conglomerate economy which eats the people and eats the world and eats the soil and destroys and ultimately consumes us all. It's that simple now. That's the great thing about it in a way. It's become very polarized. There's the consumer abusers and there's the unifier carers.
The what?
Unifier carers.
And what is their function and role?
To heal the damaged child in everybody.
Are we all walking wounded, damaged children?
I believe there are very few people, sentient beings, that don't contain a damaged child.
How have you raised your children? How have you tried to minimize the damage to them?
Try to always imagine what they want and try and remember what it was like to be their age.
And it seems to have worked.
Who knows?
Yeah, you never know.
Can't tell. I mean, we're not the only people in their lives, are we?
No,
And
do you feel
you
that-
can't just pretend that the rest of the world isn't there, so you have to accept the totality of everything and that they're within that too. Hang on, talking of children, what's happening?